Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am back to film my monthly budget video for the month of January. I cannot believe that we are already starting a brand new year. I am going to be sticking with my plum paper planner, which is the planner that I started in July as my budget planner. And I just decided to keep it in the same planner because I like to have a year's worth of budgets in one budget planner. This is, I believe, my third budget planner, I want to say. But yeah, also sorry that I'm very done up. I am very much done up, but it is actually New Year's Eve at the time that I'm filming this, which I actually have to film this pretty quickly since I have to go to my parents' house. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and film myself just like I did. I believe the first one I did like this was in the month of October. So in October and November, I went ahead and filmed myself, and you guys really seem to like it. I did get a bunch of feedback about not being able to see the budget and whatnot. So I do think that by the end of the video, I am just going to, not put my face anymore, but just put the budget so that if you missed a number or want to take a screenshot of it, you can. So that's kind of what's going to be going on today. I do have all of my stickers here. I actually have quite a few of them because I plan on setting up the rest of my spreads in the next couple of days for you guys. Also, let me know if you guys like how my nails look. I tried to do something different that kind of mimicked the snowflake washi that I'm actually going to be using today for my budget. So this is the monthly view, which I'm not going to set up yet. I'm actually going to wait to set that up until I stuff my cash envelopes, but I will be setting up my budget spread in the same spot that I typically do, a page over the calendar, so on the right side. And like I mentioned, I'm very excited to start a new year. I feel like everyone, including me, definitely needed a fresh start. Not only with my budget, but with goals and stuff like that. I know last year I set out a bunch of goals for myself, and I even had a goal planner and everything, but by the end of the year, let's just say that I wasn't too into my goal setting planner. So this time around, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of did things very last minute, which is of course in Romina fashion. I'm gonna be using the snowflake washi, which just looks so great with my nails. I love that so much. And I'm going to be using the correlating budget kit that has your expenses split between variable and fixed, which is what I've always used. I don't think I've ever used the bills and expenses together. Now I completely went out of order, but I'm gonna go ahead and lay down my January budget script like so. And like I mentioned, I was a little behind with my whole annual budget, sinking funds and all of that. And I didn't get to film that, but I do have it as a rough draft in my little softbound notebook, which I kind of upgraded and into this really pretty Hello Kitty collection. This is in collaboration with Erin Condren. If you guys are interested, we'll go ahead and leave a link for it down below. But I'm absolutely in love with that, and I'm so happy that I got to start into something new this year, at least with that. So that's what I'm going to be looking at as I set this on camera with you guys. I always like to make a monthly budget mock spread just so that I kind of know exactly what I'm going to write down, and so that way I don't have to think it through as I'm filming this, because otherwise that I feel like would be very, very hard to do. So as you guys know, my sources of income are my shop Romina Rosa, so I am going to just write that down. That is my main source. So I do like to give myself a paycheck from my shop, and that is the first one. And then I do like to have a section for any variable sources of income. And like I mentioned, if you guys are new to my channel, you guys don't know this, but I do earn some income from sources like YouTube, Patreon, which is always in the description box if you guys are interested in checking that out. But for the most part, those are pretty much it. Any of my variable sources of income, I do like to list in the page right next to this budget spread actually, which I will actually be setting up for you guys as well eventually. But now that I have my income section laid out, I'm going to go ahead and just split my income and expenses with that glitter washi. Now you guys are going to notice that my categories have not changed whatsoever, and I have been for a couple of months now trying to figure out what the sweet spot is for all of my cash envelopes. So like groceries, eating out, household, gas, and all of that. And I think making that annual budget, which if you guys are interested in seeing that video, if it's not too late, because obviously I'm already making my January budget spread, but if you guys are interested in seeing kind of how I got those numbers, then go ahead and let me know by commenting down below. But after I made that annual budget, which I actually had never done before, it really opened my eyes as to all the income that I am expecting to come in, minus all of my expenses, potential savings, sinking funds, and all of that. So I feel like I have pretty good numbers set out for my cash envelopes, which I'm really happy about because I feel like I really needed to get my ish together for this year, because I have a lot of goals, including paying off my student loans and all of that. So I'm very hyped. So all of that to say that for groceries, I do like to write out my cash envelopes first. So the first one that I typically write down is groceries. For groceries, I am budgeting $275. I believe the past 2 months I've been budgeting $300 since those two were holiday months, but I want to go ahead and bring it down, and I'm saying $275, but eventually if I can bring it down to anywhere between $200 to $250, that will be the most ideal thing for me. But I kind of want to ease myself into it and just say $275 for now. Then next I have eating out. And for eating out, I'm also lowering that from the past 2 months back to it being $100. I used to be okay with $100, and I don't see why I would need more money for eating out or takeout. So I think 100 is perfect for me. I didn't mention this in the beginning of the video, but as always, I am budgeting for all of my expenses, my part of the rent, my part of the bills, and all of that. So do keep that in mind, that I'm only budgeting for myself. I'm not necessarily budgeting for a family or anybody else other than me. So yeah. Next, I have household. And for household, this is kind of one of the newer categories to my budget, but I'm so happy that I decided to add it when I moved into my apartment. So that I am going to be budgeting $100 for. I don't think that I'm going to be needing decorations per se for like Valentine's Day, which is why I increased it for like Christmas and Thanksgiving. So I think $100 should be perfect. We will see though. And as the weeks go by, I will be filming weekly check-ins just to let you guys in and let you guys know how I'm doing with the budgeted amounts for my cash envelope. So I do like to track all of my expenses in my monthly view, which you will see, or if you guys are not new to my channel, then you guys already know. But that is for household. And for gas, like I mentioned last month, I'm deciding to decrease this to $60 just so that I'll be okay with pumping twice, each one of the times $30. I think that's a-okay. So that's what gas is going to get. And then I have allowance. And for allowance, I always give myself $100. So that's what I'll put there. And then my last cash envelope is beauty. Okay, sorry, I had to move myself just a little bit because I realized that the camera wasn't where it was supposed to be, so that this whole situation works out. So I hope that you guys can still see it. But like I mentioned, I will zoom in once I'm all done with the categories. The last cash envelope that I have is beauty, which, as you guys can tell from my nails as well as from my hair, I do love to have this category. It honestly just works for me, and if it doesn't work for you, then you don't have to add beauty into your budget. But for me, it's definitely something that I like to include in my budget. So for beauty this month, I'm going to be decreasing it to $225. I honestly think that should be more than enough to fully fund like my nails, hair dye, and all of that. I did stop getting my eyelashes done, so I think we should be pretty a-okay with this amount. After beauty, I have my phone bill. And for phone bill, I budget $110. Then I have my internet. So Wi-Fi, for that I am budgeting $69.99. At first, I don't know, I mentioned this, I think last month, I was paying $69.98, but then I think last month they charged me $69.99, so that's why I'm bringing it to the variable expenses side, and we will see how it goes this month. Next, I have a new category that I'm only going to be having this month, and it is going to be for a Costco membership. I talked it out with Paul, and I think we are going to be getting a Costco membership, so we're going to be splitting the $60 in half, so I'm going to be paying $30 for that. So I'm just going to put Costco membership. And moving forward, I'm actually going to be creating a sinking fund for Costco just so that next time it is due in about 12 months, I'll have the $60 ready to go and I don't have to even include it in my monthly budget. So I'm just going to be putting $30 here. And that is the last real category. As always, I like to have budgeted as one of my categories here, more as like a placeholder. So if there's any unbudgeted expenses that I don't foresee coming, I always have a spot for them. The only thing is that I don't budget anything for this, so I'll just put 0 here. And if there's an actual, I'll go ahead and write it out here and you guys will see it at the end of the month. So those are all of my variable expenses. And now moving on to my fixed expenses side. I'm just going to go ahead and lay this down here. So for the fixed expenses side, of course, most important is rent. So for rent, my part of that is actually $800. Like so. Then I have my car payment. And for these fixed expenses, of course, it is a set amount, an amount that I always pay for, and it's not going to change throughout the month, like maybe my cash envelope spending. So for car payment, that is $348.06. Car insurance, I pay $200 for that. So $200. Then I have renter's insurance, which I pay monthly, a total of $10.83. Then I have a category for subscriptions, which I do like to combine smaller subscriptions like my part of the Spotify family plan that I'm in with my sister, as well as iCloud storage. So that is a total of $6.99, and I honestly don't mind combining those. If I had things like Hulu or Netflix or a monthly bill for Amazon Prime, then I would also put them here. I honestly think it's better to pay Amazon Prime annually. It's cheaper and it's just in one go. So that's the way that I pay for that. I do have Netflix, but that gets paid through my phone bill. So T-Mobile, I believe, pays it for me. So those are my only subscriptions that I have. And then I have student loans, which the minimum payment for these is $130.77 as always. I also like to have a giving category here, which always gets $150 every single month. Then another fixed expense would be my sinking funds. And I like to treat sinking funds as a fixed expense because it is an amount that is not going to change throughout the month. I just stuff my sinking funds once a month in the beginning of the month, and that's all that they get. So that is why I put them on this side. For this month, I'm actually going to be stuffing them with $800. And you guys will be seeing that sinking funds video tomorrow. And is that it? Yes, those are all of my fixed expenses. I also do like to have a section for any extra debt payments that I may pay towards my student loans. And so I'm just gonna put extra debt payment. And this I will go ahead and leave blank because I don't necessarily take it out of the income that I am budgeting for, but rather anything extra that my shop makes, I will go ahead and put that towards my debt. It's kind of how I've always gone about extra debt payments. So that's how that works for me. So I just went ahead and laid down my total section for my fixed expenses. And before I total those up, I am going to go ahead and lay down my totals section to my spread. So let's go ahead and lay this down here. And my total section here. So in this total section, I like to put all of my expected income, well, expected and actual income, as well as budgeted and actual amounts for both of my expenses. So I will go ahead and write out income here, then variable for variable expenses, and fixed for, you guessed it, fixed expenses. And then once I have those written out, I will go ahead and just lay down my balance header. And then on this corner, I do like to put the rest of the stickers here. So I have a pattern square box where I will actually put any money that I'm either, well, in the past, I've put any money that I'm either putting towards savings or that I'm putting towards extra debt payments. So in here for 2021, I'm going to, well, I have a lot of goals, which I asked if somebody would still like to see my 2021 goals video. So that will be coming in a couple of days, I'm hoping. So make sure you stay tuned for that. But one of my main goals, I guess sneak peek, is that I want to pay off my student loans. And if you guys would have seen yesterday's video, which was my 2020 total debt payoff, then you guys kind of know how much I have left over. And so that's really going to be a goal of mine, to put as much money as I can towards my debt, just so that I can get rid of my student loans already. And then of course, as always, saving, emergency fund, all of that. So yes. So like I mentioned, in the total section, I will go ahead and put all of my expenses, then subtract my expenses from my income, and whatever money I have left over, I will go ahead and bring into this box right here, which I'm hoping you guys can see because I zoomed in a little bit. And then for the rest of the decal, I will just go ahead and go on and just sprinkle it here and there. I always love to decorate my spread, as you guys know. So that, I think, is going to be it for this budget video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. I honestly have great plans for 2021. So I am glad that you guys clicked on this video, and maybe if you've never budgeted before, that maybe this motivates you to do so. I know that ever since I started budgeting, I've just felt so much better about having control over my money. So I definitely would suggest it. Stick around for more budgeting videos. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you guys are not subscribed already. And hopefully I will get to see you guys on tomorrow's video. Bye guys.